told us this morning Dylan's been cleared to participate tonight.
Yeah.
I suppose he's on some kind of restriction or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll just be conservative with it, obviously. Kind of a natural restriction.
Yeah.
But it's been good. He's got a lot of good work in. He's been patient and trusted the medical and the organization, and while he's trusted them, he's been putting in a lot of work. So just happy for him to finally get on the court and compete against somebody else.
Is there anything you've seen from him on the practice floor that's impressed you?
I think the maturity for his age, like understanding just the game and trying to not, get into sometimes the surface level or shallow part of impacting a game in terms of trying to score every time or make a bunch of moves. He just tried to be a part of the team and fit in.
Is there anything you're hoping for this year? Pace of play? I don't know. I mean, you were pretty quick last year. I think you were like sixth best pace of play, so I don't know. That's probably not the example, but something where you want a vast area of improvement or significant change in how the team plays or does things this year?
I think where we're at right now and where we were last year, there's quite a bit of things that we want to continue to improve upon. And I think the obvious one, just in terms of maybe style of play or some of where we were ranked versus other teams, would just be the defense, obviously, to continue to take steps in that area and grow our identity on that side of the floor.
Hey, Coach. Carter Bryant, every time we talk to Carter, he's got such a great perspective on life and the game. Is that something that you sort of learn more about him, with him being in training camp and being around him more?
Carter's been very coachable and open to everything that we've given him. Obviously, it's going to take time, and I think we've seen that just even in the Miami game. He's full of energy and competitiveness, and the game will slow down as it does for every 19-year-old when they're trying to do everything right, not make a mistake, and go 1,000 miles per hour all at the same time.
With the guys you guys have had out, are any of the combinations you're playing, are things you'll be looking at in the regular season, or you can't really play the combinations and the rotations the way you'd like to because of those
yeah, I think almost every team's going through it in some capacity, right? Utah's going through it, the same thing. It's probably part of the beauty of it and part of the frustration. Probably you learn something that you weren't necessarily banking on or expecting, and then there's also times where you say it's hard to evaluate this because person X isn't out there right now, and he's probably a big part of the idea of what we're talking about. So just part of the game. That's why typically after 82 games, it's a long season. Things play out in the wash pretty good. Water finds its level.
I'm sure there's some guys who can fill it, but right now you have a void where you don't have a lot of off-the-bounce three-point shooters left from last year. How important is that in this day and age in this game to have that void filled in some capacity, that you have that option of having an off-the-bounce three, or can you be a purely catch-and-shoot three-point shooting team?
Yeah, it's a tough question to quantify. I think obviously you need to be able to score in a variety of ways, and spacing is a big part of that. And I think for the most part, you got to play to your strengths and to your personnel. So I'm sure teams that have that in spades or as a strength are going to try to utilize that. And if you don't, that's probably not something that you need to try to have at the forefront and try to execute in other ways.
Coach, I think it was last week you spoke on how last season you coached 77 games, like almost a full season, but now you had a full off season to kind of prep and get ready for this year. Now that you've got, one preseason game under your belt, how does it feel to kind of, implement the plans you've been working on the whole off season and just kind of wrap your brain around the season approaching?
Yeah, I think there are times now when you make a decision where it may take some time for that to grow or to evolve. And I think last year there was a lot of trying to react in the moment and keep things together and hold it together and not worry about tomorrow or the future because we were trying to get through that day. And I think that's probably the biggest difference, and that's what camp has allowed me at times to make decisions with our staff on something that we feel like is important to execute or address that day. And sometimes you install something and know that there may be some clunkiness or some time for it to grow, but there's a vision for it eventually.
Thank you.